Hello Internet, welcome back to another episode of Bazzle Spot Live. We're here again on the VGC 19 Battle Spot ladder with a slightly different Gravity team to last week. I've changed things around a little bit. I think there's quite a bit of interest in the Gravity team as well, so I'm sticking with this for now, I guess. This is what it was last week, but just a brief explanation as to what I've changed. I've changed the Lunala for Focus Sash Gengar with Hypnosis and Hex. Just so in the Ghost Mirror, Gengar is always faster. If Lunala has no Bull Can of Sleep, Hex has actually got a good chance to one-shot it through the Shadow Shield as well, which is pretty nice. And it's faster than Kartana as well, Gengar, which was an issue for that other team. Because there is no Focus Sash left over, no Lilligant, I've gone with non-Burden Sceptile, which might rely on Lele to come, which could be an issue, I suppose. But can Grass Whistle and do interesting things like that too. And because we've got one more restricted slot available there, we've gone for Kyurem, as we had in 2016, which in theory helps us out against Evoltol, but like a Blizzard's never going to one-shot an Evoltol, so I'm still a little bit iffy as to what's going on. I'm still a little bit iffy because I do like Scarf on Lele as well, but obviously you can't have a Scarf on Kyurem and Lele, so ooh, what's this? So okay. So Kyurem's got the Scarf, and Lele has got just the Twisted Spoon. It's a Twisted Spoon, isn't it? Yeah, Twisted Spoon. Just so we can hit things, basically, a bit harder. But what is this? I mean, I appreciate the Scrafty. I mean, Naganadel is faster than Gengar, but is that a problem? Is it a problem if he gets a Belly Drum with his Linoon? Because he hasn't got any terrain control. So I'm just going to go with Sableye and Gengar. Again, if we were a Choice Scarf Lele, we could just, get the Naganadel. But I suppose the Kyurem can as well. But the Lele's got the added bonus of stopping the Linoon. But we definitely need the Groudon for the Necrozma down there. But we do need something for the Scrafty as well, so maybe we do need the Tapu Lele. But then Naganadel looks a little bit more of a pain for us. So we go with what? Kyurem instead. Let's go with Kyurem. I'm just gonna say, right, look, I've got a Tapu Lele. You've not got any Tapu Pokemon on your team. You're not gonna put all your eggs in the Linoon basket. So if he leads Clefairy and Linoon here, good on him, but I suppose he can't extreme speed either of my ghosts either, so I really can't see him bringing the Linoon. He surely is not going to bring the Linoon. Yeah, so I brought the Kyurem just for this Naganadel, really. Scrafty could be a little bit of an issue as well. But Naganadel's probably going to, what, Tailwind maybe? I mean, we don't necessarily have to Gravity here. We could go for a Taunt into the Naganadel and protect. Worst case scenario is a Helping Hand Draco Meteor into Sableye, which I can't see happening, but he has just protected here. Is this Clefairy going for an Icy Wind or something then? Oh, it's just protecting too. Okay, well that was a interesting turn. Could have been a very free Gravity, actually, couldn't it? Whatever. So now, the Clefairy probably goes for a Follow Me, you would imagine, wouldn't you? So, okay. I'm just going to go for a Gravity now then, like I suppose I should have done last turn. And a Hypnosis into... we'll try into the Naganadel slot, but it kind of forces him to go for a Follow Me by targeting that slot. So, the Clefairy will have a guaranteed sleep turn next turn. I'm just wondering what this Naganadel is going to do then. I'm expecting a Tailwind. Oh, a Nasty Blot. I can appreciate that. I can definitely appreciate that. But this Clefairy's got a guaranteed sleep turn now. And... Naganadel could be sashed. So I'm going to go for... I'm not going to switch anything in for the Sableye slot here. Because if he, goes for a Dragon Pulse or something into the Sableye slot and I bring the Kyurem in, then you know, I've just lost my Kira, haven't I? So I'm just going to go for a foul play. I've swapped Feint for foul play now into Naganadel to break the potential Sash, although Feint would have done the same thing, wouldn't it? And I don't have to fear anything with Gengar because I have got a Focus Sash, so I'm just going to go for a Sludge Bomb into Clefairy. If he knocks out the Sableye here, then fair enough. And it's actually just a Flamethrower into the Gengar, which will bring me down to my Sash. So, actually, if it... And a burn, of course he burns me. If he had targeted that into the Sableye, then I wouldn't be breaking any potential Sash. So in this situation, Feint would have definitely been better. But unfortunate that we've lost our Gengar like that, because now we've only really got the Groudon against the Necrozma that he's got. Which, if he has brought in the back, I can see him bringing in now, I guess. So maybe now this is a situation where foul play maybe is going to be the better option for us, because if we just double Blizzard here, they probably both go down. Naganadel's probably not bulky enough to take it with the Friend Guard, and we foul play into a potential Solgaleo coming in, or we just switch into the Groudon, which is maybe the safer option. Scrafty's not going to appreciate a Blizzard. So yeah, I'm actually just going to swap the Sableye into Groudon and go for a Blizzard here. It's just probably the safer option. I mean, he's not making... Well, he could be switching the Clefairy, if that is actually slower than the Sableye. Which, no, it just protects the Naganadel. So, if this is... if this is the Necrozma coming in, I wonder if that takes a Blizzard and Precipice Blades. If it's Scrafty coming in, then he gets a Fake Out onto my Kyurem. And then maybe we're not looking too good. Then maybe it is Scrafty, so maybe we do use the Eject button now with Sableye. But I mean, both of these threaten the Naganadel. It's just that it's only the Kyurem that outspeeds it. I think the Groudon is actually really important here. So I'm going to go for a Protect with Groudon and swap Kyurem out for Sableye. Because if he targets into the Groudon slot, then fair enough, I've got Quash, Precipice Blades next turn. Unless he's got Quick Guard on Scrafty, which was, you know, on my team in 16. If he targets into the now Sableye slot, then I can just eject button back into my Kyurem and threaten next turn. Scrafty doesn't have Wide Guard. So it is a Flamethrower into the Sableye. Good. And it's a +2. I did kind of expect to survive that, but I suppose we are in Sun now, and it is +2 special attack. And that's a speed rise. Oh dear. So that just became a big problem. In fact, that just became game losing, I believe. I don't think there's anything we can do now, is there? I mean, it's bound to have Draco Meteor or Dragon Pulse, so we can't protect the Kyurem. Yeah, this Naganadel's been a pain for us. I mean, Scrafty's going to survive the combination of these two attacks as well. But what, he's just making sure by going for a knockoff into Kyurem, maybe? Or a low kick, okay. Which, yeah, we do survive, but like, you've got a speed boost. Your Naganadel is going to outspeed my Kyurem. So I'm basically relying on him messing up here and targeting my Groudon. And obviously I'm relying on Blizzard's out of gravity as well here too, if he does make the mistake of targeting my Groudon. So does Flamethrower into the Groudon? Do I hit my Blizzards? Yes. Okay. Well, I feel like I mean, we don't know what his last Pokemon is yet, but I feel like that was his game, and he kind of threw it away there. Like, by the way he targeted into the Groudon, it kind of suggests that he's got his Necrozma in the back, but it's actually his Groudon in the back. So, okay, let's just go for Fire Punches or Precipice Blades, and I think we'll just Precipice Blades, just because we're kind of relying on. I mean, we can't. We're locked into this. We've got to hit Blizzards either way, so which we do hit. It is 70% accurate. Wouldn't be surprised if it just one-shots the Groudon there. Yeah, it's single target now. All right, well, I'll take it, but don't feel like we should have won that one. So, like, I'm not solid on this team. Like, I don't know if it's better or worse than the Lunala team that we were using last week. I do know that with the Lunala team last week, I did really like the Lunala, but I also didn't feel comfortable at all with an Nihilego being on the team. So, I mean, we'll go on, I suppose, and we'll see. We'll see what happens, but I don't know. I mean, I suppose he should have really known that Kyurem tend to be scarfed, and so I can't protect there. But yeah, I don't know. Let's forget about it and move on, because we won. That's the important thing. So this guy has got an Ambipom, which is interesting. He's actually got 3 fake outs. So this is one of the reasons why I thought Gengar might be pretty good, because Gengar's faster than everything on the team apart from the Ambipom, which might have knockoff as well. Does threaten the Xerneas, and does threaten the Lunala quite a lot as well. With a Focus Sash, I'm always going to survive an attack. So let's just go with Sableye and Gengar. And in the back, we definitely want Groudon, because it's got Incineroar. But then, who do we want as well? It's tempting to go with Sceptile, actually. He hasn't got any terrain control himself. Kyurem doesn't really hit anything with Blizzard, not too well anyway. And Sceptile puts things to sleep. And can threaten the Terrakion, obviously, as well. Lele, yeah, Lele not being scarfed, I don't know. Let's go with Sceptile then. Let's see if we can get Sceptile to do something. We're not going to be activating its Seed, but it is going to be faster than everything. It is, I'm pretty sure it is naturally faster than Ambipom, isn't it? Ambipom's base. We're doing 15, I think. Okay, so Sableye Gengar. Like, this really is like 16 now, isn't it? Sableye Gengar like this. Okay. So now we're turn 2 going to have the mind game of do we Hypnosis or Hex Lunala, basically. Because I'm going to go for a Gravity here, obviously, and a Hypnosis into the Lunala, I was thinking, just because it might have Tailwind. But I could easily do it into the Incineroar as well. If I Hypnosis into the Incineroar, then Lunala, I'll put it to sleep next turn as I bring in Groudon. Yeah, I'm actually going to go for a Hypnosis into Incineroar. It's Lunala withdrawing, actually, into Terrakion. Okay. So maybe has that got a Lumberry on it? Is he going to go for like that dark spread move that hits everything to give himself a justified boost? Was that his plan? Or maybe it's a Scarfed Terrakion. That is also a consideration. But whichever it is, Groudon is a pretty safe switch in here. And we can just Hypnosis into the Terrakion. So I do hope we get to one-shot this Lunala with Hex through the Shadow Field. I'm hoping that I get to do that in this battle. But we'll see if this Terrakion's Scarfed on it now, won't we? No, it's not. Has it got a Lumberry? Or maybe it was just coming in on a expected Shadow Ball. Incineroar does wake up and knocks off into the Gengar, fair enough. But now we do have quite a nice and free Precipice Blades. Although we're not faster than the Terrakion, obviously. But we can just Precipice Blade. And has he got any Intimidates in the back? He doesn't have any Intimidates in the back, so that is a free Precipice Blade. This is a one-shot into the Incineroar. And just in case the Terrakion is sashed, I could just double into it. I'm just wondering if I want to go for a Hypnosis into something. Expecting a switch, but I will just double into these. I mean, I found actually it's quite interesting. In 16, I used to Swords Dance with Groudon a lot to set up. Okay, so Terrakion's protecting there, which isn't the worst case for us at all, actually. But I don't really find myself Swords Dancing at all here. I did have the option of Hypnosising into the Incineroar and going for a Swords Dance that turn, which in hindsight would have worked out for us because the Terrakion protected. But would it have been necessary? I don't think so. I think we're okay damage-wise, whichever way we go. But now, unfortunately, I don't think Gengar's going to get to do the business with the knocking out with the Hex, unfortunately. But we've got Sceptile in the back. We have got Foul Play on Sableye now. So that will do a lot of damage to Lunala. If we don't get Eject buttoned out first. I suppose that's one of the issues with that. So Groudon does Precipice Blade here. I'm just wondering if I protect Gengar or not. Because Lunala, if Lunala goes for like a Tailwind here, then that would be really bad. But I'm just going to protect here. Like, this is maybe a mistake. But we'll see, won't we? Oh, it's actually got Wide Guard. Okay, fair enough. And so what are you Rock Sliding back? Earthquake. Okay, well that's fine. Groudon's not going to take any damage from that. So I should have anticipated that, I guess. I mean, I did about anticipate, but thought about it. Terrakion is not Focus Sash either, it's Life Orb. Now Lunala can't double protect. I could have a free Hypnosis into this Lunala slot. Or I have a Hypnosis into the Terrakion. Terrakion's not really a threat because we've got Sceptile in the back. So I'm going to Hypnosis the Lunala. It is pretty much a guaranteed Hypnosis. He would need a double protect to avoid it, basically. So Terrakion protect. Okay, so we might actually get to do the Hex thing. If I choose to. Like the Hex thing. Let's see. Oh, actually, we're not going to, are we? Because we're breaking its Shadow Shield anyway. No. Okay, so yeah, fair enough. Leftovers. Red card. Ooh. Okay. Well, that works for me. And gravity returns to normal, so we're not going to mess around with Grass Busters or anything. Do we know what his last Pokemon is? Like Xerneas? Are we expecting? I mean, if I just knock out both of these Pokemon, and Xerneas comes in, can I still win? I think so, because I'll get a Sludge Bomb and a Leaf Storm as it does Geomancy, and then we've got Sableye and Groudon, so we can just Quash and Precipice Blades. So I think we've got roughly an 85% chance to win here, assuming like Leaf Storm hits and all that kind of stuff too. But no, he's making some moves. I appreciate this. Lunala should be going down. So this Leaf Storm is going to do a decent amount of damage as well. That is a decent amount of damage. And Hex, the Hex thing. Obviously, it's not through Shadow Shield, unfortunately, but one day I'll get that calculation. One day I'll get to show that off. But now Terrakion comes back in, and it's still threatened by a Leaf Storm, and Xerneas is in range of a Sludge Bomb now too. But we just need to hit the Leaf Storm. Actually, I thought Terrakion was a bit lower than that, so that's probably not in Leaf Storm range, is it? So I think, well, I mean, surely the Xerneas protects here then, doesn't it? I mean, he could try and make a crazy read and protect his Terrakion and Geomancy. Because I'm thinking about doubling up into this Terrakion, expecting his Xerneas to protect. Okay, let's think. If I just play it safe, go for a Sludge Bomb and it protects, then what happens? I can bring Sableye in and do stuff. I'm just going to play it extra safe. I'm pretty sure the Xerneas is going to protect, but just in case he tries to make a crazy read, which he hasn't protected the Terrakion, but Gengar is faster than both of those Pokemon and will be knocking out the Xerneas. So Gengar doing something nice. And I'm not sure this Terrakion is going to be able to do too much to Sceptile. That's a lot of damage to Sceptile. that's 2 critical hits. Wow. That was an angry Terrakion, clearly. But now, yeah, we'll just put Sableye back in, just for the gravity, just to ensure our moves definitely hit. And just for the sake of seeing the animation, I'm going to go for a Focus Blast, which at -4 will still knock it out. I have got Focus Blast on this Sceptile, so that I've got, or we're not going to see the animation, so that I've got an extra way of doing about 60% to Incineroar, and it gets Katana as well. I was thinking of like Hidden Power Fire or whatever on Sceptile, because Katana wasn't an issue, a problem, but you don't get many chances to use Focus Blast. Might as well take them. So we'll do one more game, and we'll see how it goes. I mean, the first game was a bit iffy, so forget that one. But that one was fair enough. Yeah, Wide Guard on Lunala is something that I didn't consider, and maybe I should. Like, whenever I see Lunala or a Solgaleo, I'm going to have to think Wide Guard, aren't I, now? I'm just going to have to get that into my head. And that is really one of the reasons why I'm thinking maybe with Kyurem on this team, because my 2 restricted Pokemon basically both spam spread moves. Maybe on the Sableye I kind of want Feint in this version, but because like again in that first game, I wanted to break the sash on the Naganadel. If it targeted my Sableye instead, it would have ejected me out. I wouldn't have broken any sashes. So Feint is a good move. I do like Feint. I just found myself last week in so many opportunities where Sableye was stuck in there in Psychic Terrain. Gravity was up, so there's no point in that. I couldn't taunt anything. I couldn't quash anything. I couldn't feint anything because we're in Psychic Terrain and Gravity. So, Foul Play does make sense, but I'm just wondering how many times I'm going to be saying this week, wish I had Feint instead. Hopefully, not many. But let's wait for someone else to appear then. Apparently no one wants to play against Gravity at the moment. But I don't know. I mean, there's things that I can tweak with this team even still. Actually, no opponents. Wow. Okay. I think that the biggest thing that I'm really unsure about is the item between Kyurem and Tapu Lele, because I do really like Choice Scarf Tapu Lele, but then what item would I have on the Kyurem? Because I would want a fire attack for things like Ferrothorn and whatever. I would definitely want Blizzard. And I would want like a neutral kind of attack like Dragon Pulse as well, so Protect if I'm not choice locked. But I could be Specs, Timid Specs perhaps. Or I could put the Adrenaline Orb on Kyurem as well. But if I did that, like, it's literally doing nothing to Incineroar. But I suppose Lunala didn't really, but I could put it to sleep at least. So I don't know really. It's a real toss-up. I suppose we'll just play some games out and see how we go. I mean, Scarf Kieran does get Crobat, like Scarf Lele did. Scarf Kieran doesn't really mind too much for Scarfed Kyogre. Scarf Lele could, chunk it with Psy Shock, I suppose. Yeah, it's tough. Because the 4 I seem to take are like always, or almost always, Sableye, Gengar, and Groudon. So then I'm kind of in a position where the last slot, if it's Chlorophyll, then fine. Like the Lilligant, that was fine, because I can take advantage of that. But because this is Unburden, I kind of need to have my Lele as well if I need the Unburden speed boost, or rely on them having Psychic Terrain. And Kieran's literally just there just to hit things, isn't it? Just to threaten Yveltal a little bit more. But Yveltal are sometimes Assault Vested, sometimes Psychic Seed or Misty Seed or whatever. I actually can't find an opponent again. Wow. So we look again, but I mean, what is this? What's happening? Thought there'd have been quite a few people playing after the American Regional and everything. So we'll look one more time then, but we can't find anyone. We can't find anyone, can we? So yeah, I don't know. It's just Pokemon, isn't it? Teams. Some things work, some things don't. Have that music again. And yeah, I don't know. Like we're at the point in the ladder now where we're actually playing against people who know what they're doing as well, and people who are, especially when they see a Sableye and a Gengar, they're going to know there's probably a Hypnosis coming here, as opposed to Gengar and Lunala, and no one's really going to expect a Hypnosis from Lunala. So that had that going for it. With Lunala, I could have a Focus Sash on another Pokemon as well, like the Lilligant. So I don't know, there's ups and downs, isn't there? But the thing I like about Gengar is it does threaten Xerneas for a lot more damage. It does outspeed Kartana as well. And knockoff seems to be quite common on Kartana, which obviously was a massive threat for Lunala. But I don't know, fingers crossed we're actually going to find someone. I mean, we've been sitting here for like a couple of minutes now, surely, haven't we? So we'll give it a go and keep our fingers crossed. I don't know. How's your day been? Maybe I should do one of those question of the day things, like some of the people do. What would the question be? I can't ask if you prefer Gengar or Lunala because we're only one video in. Aha, we find someone with actually a pretty high rating. So, hopefully this will have been worth the wait. As we've got an ominous black screen there. Okay, so Ludicolo, Kyogre, and Xerneas. And some other things too. So this is actually one of the games where I can maybe bring Sceptile and rely on their Psychic Terrain. If there is Scarfed Kyogre, it could be an issue. I'm trying to work out if Scarfed Kyogre is more of an issue for this team or the other team. Because I felt like the other team had pretty good answers for it, but like, what would I do? Like, Gravity and Hypnosis it? Gravity Protect? Bring in Groudon? I don't know. I mean, with this, I can survive with the Focus Sash. But anyway, let's just put some Pokemon out and see what we're doing then, first of all. So I think we definitely want these 3. And I think we will go with a Sceptile. Because, fingers crossed, we can use their terrain to do some naughty business with them. But I don't know, it's nice playing people who've got high ratings because you get more points from them when you win. Or when they disconnect on you. Okay, well that's... all that time waiting for an opponent. Okay. Alright, well, bear with me, guys. I'll look for one more game. And hopefully we'll get one. If we don't, then, whatever. We'll just call it a day. But... please, someone, battle me. Oh dear. Oh well. So I mean, you see what I'm saying with the Sceptar thing, because like the three of Sableye, Gengar, and Groudon seem to be like staples. So, like, if I can abuse Chlorophyll, fantastic. So, are there any Chlorophyll users that don't need a Focus Sash? I guess that's really what I'm asking. Lilligant, I suppose, doesn't need a Focus Sash, but it really helps. Could I maybe use something else instead of Kyurem? Like, I'm not sold on Kyurem at all. Maybe I could go with Ninetales there instead. But then I'd be breaking my Shadow Shield if I went back to Lunala, potentially with Hail. But we'll give better. I'm just literally just doing my team building, aren't I, in this video? There we go, we found someone. From Italy, from Sicily, I think it said, didn't it? And he's got one of these nasty teams with Serena and presumed Scarf Kyogre. The Coco's nasty as well. But he's got a Katana, so maybe we get to do some business on that. I have found Tapu Koko do have Grass Knot. Like, I've seen more with Grass Knot lately, like, which does worry me a bit, because obviously I kind of need to rely on Groudon to sit in front of it here. But we'll go Sableye Gengar. Like, Kyurem does make sense, but I do need the Groudon for those 2 or 3 ground weaknesses. So yeah, we're definitely going with Groudon. But I think we need the Lele, because he's got the Coco. Well, Kyurem would be nice here. But I think we need the Lele. So we'll go in with these. And cross our fingers, I think. Yeah, because I'm not, like... It's not good when you've got one of your restricted Pokemon that you either never take or you're not convinced on. And I don't feel like I'm going to be bringing Kyurem too much. So maybe, I don't know, Lunala was good, but I do like Gengar too. Is there another restricted Pokemon I could use instead? Like Palkia or something in the Kyurem slot? No, I don't think so. I mean, it does learn Gravity, doesn't it, Palkia? But it doesn't. Well, I was going to say it doesn't really threaten Xerneas, but neither does Kyurem. I don't know. Questions to be thought of. Solgaleo Kartana. Okay, double steel lead. Well, that's definitely not what I expected. Does he bring the Coco in now? Does he know what I'm going to do? Does he try and Trick Room? Probably not, no. I'll just go for a Gravity Hypnosis into the Solgaleo then. This is probably Coco coming in, isn't it? No, it's Incineroar. Okay. Well, I can handle that. I can definitely appreciate Incineroar going to sleep. Unless that was a Scarf Solgaleo and actually switching the Katana out as well. But unlikely. It's probably just going to go for a knockoff into one of my Pokemon. Like, I'd love it if he activated my eject button. That'd be amazing, but can't see it happening. And this is actually, you know, in action specifically one of the reasons why. Oh dear, not Tailwind. One of the reasons why I quite like Gengar, because it is faster than Kartana, unless they go for blooming Tailwind. So that's unfortunate, but we can put the Kartana to sleep unless he switches Coco in for the Incineroar. But maybe he hasn't brought the Coco. You would imagine he does target the Gengar, wouldn't you? But I don't think I can risk that. I'm going to go for just a foul play and a Hypnosis into the Kartana. Oop, that's my capture card. Going all funny. Hopefully I can make it appear again. Okay. So he does actually target the Sableye. That's interesting. So I do get to eject button now into the Groudon, I guess, don't I? Oop, there we go. Yeah, apologies for this. My capture card has been a bit funny lately. I'm hoping that it'll stay working. But yeah, okay. So He must have expected my Gengar to protect there, I guess, because the Kartana has got a guaranteed sleep turn next turn. In case that turn didn't go through, he Leaf Bladed into the Sableye, so he activated the eject button. So now Katana's got a guaranteed turn to sleep. Incineroar is in Tailwind and can potentially outspeed and do a lot of damage to both these Pokemon, but I'm not that worried. I'm just going to go for a Precipice Blades and Hex into Kartana. I mean, okay, if I knock the Incineroar out, Kyogre comes in, he's still got Tailwind, then maybe I'd have to sacrifice the Sableye. I don't know, Scarf Kyogre is a pain, isn't it? It's always going to be a pain. I like how at this moment we're just assuming that it is Scarfed as well. In fact, is okay, just... Have we seen all 4 of his Pokemon? Kartana, Solgaleo, Incineroar, Sarina. So there is no thingy, which is fantastic. And Hex, base power 130 while asleep, actually brings the Kartana down to a sash, which is fantastic. So this Precipice Blades is going to do a nice chunk to the Sarina and knock out the Kartana. And you'd imagine the Solgaleo is going to come back in for that slot, wouldn't you? So does he make the very clever move of going for a Trick Room on his last turn of Tailwind? Or does he just attack? So this is his last turn of Tailwind. He would need to double into the Gengar. Groudon is still looking pretty nifty too, yeah? But can I risk... I mean, both of these Pokemon are needed for the Solgaleo. I can see him just doubling into the Gengar, though. So, I'm going to go for a Swords Dance here. And I'm going to go for a Hypnosis into the Solgaleo. This might seem a little bit strange, but if he doesn't double into the Gengar, his Solgaleo is going to sleep unless he flinches me. So, you can't Zen Headbutt anything anymore. Zen Headbutt? That doesn't learn Photon Geyser, does it? And actually, we double Curse Body that. Yeah, okay, so... so we kind of... Well, we did call that turn okay. We knew he needed to double into the Gengar to stop things going to sleep. So Groudon has got its Sword Stance up now. Groudon is faster than the Sarina, at least, and possibly the Solgaleo too. He can't Zen Headbutt, so bringing in Psychic Terrain isn't going to boost any of his attacks. So we can just go for a Precipice Blades here, and Psy Shock into Sarina. The only problem is this is the last turn of Gravity. But if I brought in Sableye here, Sarina's going to be threatening us with a Power Whip, isn't it? Unless we just Fire Punched it. But then the Solgaleo is free to potentially Trick Room as well. He might not even have Trick Room. But I'm just going to go for a Precipice Blades here. And Psy Shock, I guess, into the Sarina. I mean, he doesn't even double protect. Yeah, and that just knocks out the Sarina. So Groudon is faster than the Solgaleo, so it's not jolly. We'll just knock it out. Okay, well, after all that waiting, apologise for that wait there, but we've finally managed to get through a video. And Gravity returns to normal here. Yeah, so maybe he was trying to go for the cheeky Trick Room play, or maybe not. Maybe I'm just ultra paranoid about Trick Room. And Incineroar is still asleep here too, so I can see him just forfeiting, I suppose. But just to be extra safe, we're going to protect with Groudon and bring Sableye in. Just for the Gravity and the Precipice Blades, but he's just going to forfeit. Okay, so it's been a long video, hasn't it? A really long one. But, you know, I hope you guys have enjoyed this. It's been a bit of a, you know, a saga, this one, hasn't it? You know, I mean, all that not being able to find an opponent. But yeah, so yeah, let me know what you think of the changes that I've made. I mean, it kind of makes sense in theory, but in practice, I'm not overly convinced about things yet. But I don't know. We'll see in the next episode, I guess, won't we? You know, how things go then too. So again, I hope you've enjoyed it. Please like and share, and do all the Twitter stuff and the stuff that helps out my channel. I do appreciate all that. So thanks a lot, guys, and goodbye for now.